What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we'll be building an exhaust for this here sweet LS swapped E36. This thing is a friend of mine's car. He brought it to me to get an exhaust done. Having some issues. I believe it's got CX Racing headers on it. We're trying to get these cars prepped to go drift in about 4 or 5 days. So he's gung-ho in this project. Anyways, here's where the headers exit. Sorry, like I said, I believe he said these were CX Racing headers, swap headers. I believe this is the CX Racing Y pipe, and he said that those will kind of mount up, but see where he's already done a little bit of clearancing. It doesn't want to work with this transmission swap adapter, or the transmission cross member, so we've got to figure something out here. He's already notched this off to kind of help, sorry, because it was kind of half mooned like that. First thing I'm going to do is get that bolted on. What I'm thinking is, depending on, I haven't bolted this up yet, but depending on the clearance issues, we may have to cut out part of this pipe and kind of section it. And it shouldn't be too big of a deal. I mean, I think you'll be okay. So let's just see what happens. I'm going to try to get this thing bolted up, and we'll see if we can't get an exhaust. Oh, and it will be going to a, he's just got some stainless bulk pipe. It's going to be single out, obviously, and then we got a little Megan Racing turn down, something similar to that. I don't know how much you can see this, but yeah, that. Okay, so let's see what we can do. We may actually not have to clear this much at all. What he has done works out really well, and see, it naturally wants to come up and hit the bell housing right there. This is T56, by the way, but we are not going to have it up that high, and the reason being is because our angle here, it's really hard to tell because this floor comes up, but think of this as level. This really shoots up and is, if anything, is going to hit right here, and we can clearance the stud, but obviously I'm not going to clearance part of the tunnel. So it'll want to come down, and I can build a hanger of some sort if needed, but we may not, because you have to think we're going to have the weight of an exhaust on here. So I'm not going to really worry about this right now. That is not an issue. And over here, I mean, tons of room. He did great right there. So anyways, I'm just going to leave this be for now. We're going to get going on here. Our primary goal here is to come out right here. Obviously would be great somewhere in this area. And these are fuel, so we kind of want to get the hell away from that as much as we can. He still has a lot of pinning up to do. Don't worry, this car's not track ready. It's just, this is kind of something that needs to happen from somewhere else. And yeah, anyways, whatever. So it's going to be exiting here, and it'll probably come out right here. Keep it up as high as we can, or around here, but I'd like to limit that. I'd like to really try to come out like right here instead of right here. And then we'll come up, and then bada bing. So, all right, we're gonna find out. All right, guys, ignore my music, but I got this good and level. I'm gonna get this welded up. So here's what I've got. So it comes out right here, what we just did, and then I've got a 45, part of a 45 anyway, slip joint 45, which is nice because I can twist it and reposition it, because that's just slip joint, and then I'll just weld that joint. The goal here is to just do this in as small amount of welds as we can, but I do have some pie stuff going on, and I'm gonna try to just get this thing tacked together. We're just mocking up. If I don't like it, I can break it loose. What we're trying to do is bring this, I've got it tilted. The 45 is horizontal, but I have it kind of tilted up because I want it to come up into this cavity where the factory fuel cell is. He has no plans on going back to the factory fuel tank. My only worry is these fuel lines, but if he has to dart them a different way, he probably could, or come a little more over this way. It's not really that much of an issue, especially after if he just heat tapes them. And then I've got some pies that I had cut. One is a little larger, I'm not sure on the exact degree. Usually I just go nuts kind of cutting them, and then I clean up the edges, deburr them so they're friendly to play with. And then I'll get them marked, and I usually just put 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if we're gonna TIG weld all this, or if we're just gonna MIG it. This is a major rush job. Today's Sunday. I'm out of stainless filler rod from a TIG, so I just twisted a bunch of MIG wire together. Can a guy just get this thing together, is what I'm getting at. Okay, so I'm gonna play with this for a split second and see what I like the most, because I really want this to exit in a very specific spot on the subframe. If possible, it'll just look the best, and in case whenever I can't count this lower control arm, this LCA, this red one, kind of like what you see here on this other side. I don't want to go under that because this car has not been track proven yet, so that means that the height of this vehicle is probably going to change, but the height of this exhaust will not change. So I want to just keep her near the diff because that's near kind of like the subframe or whatever, tiniest subframe in the world, but it'll keep us out of trouble as far as adjustment goes. So that's the plan here, and then I'll mark this 45 and I'll probably tack a couple pies, see where we end up, and then see what our next move is. Where I want this, because I don't want it right there. I at least want it to come up and come close to hitting this stud. That would be probably pretty good, and it probably keep us out of harm's way some. I'm gonna go ahead and mark the first position of this slip joint, and that is just a friendly reminder as to where we have it. I'm gonna get this done. Sorry, I'm sweating, my hair is crazy. I'm gonna get this done, I'll check back with you. Here's your update. Okay, so I ended up not aiming this up. I ended up just laying her sideways, brought it around that corner super nice, and got us super lined up with where I wanted to come out on that little bitty subframe this thing has. And as far as ride height, it's gonna also have a body kit, but it is super duper not bad at all. So if I bring this guy with the other skirt, barely, I mean, it's probably an inch lower than rear subframe. He'll still be able to get a jack right beside it for tire changes. But this little stupid dongle piece is not going to be there. It's probably going to be cut here or something, because now we need to start focusing on our swoop, and we want to come up. Those are fuel lines. Again, he might have to move some of this stuff and go ahead and get a hanger put on our turn down. I don't have any hanger material, so I might have to use all thread or something, or I may have to run to Lowe's or something. So that's a bummer, but maybe I'll have something upstairs. All right guys, sorry about this fan here. It's gonna be noisy. It's the next day. I got most of this kind of knocked out last night. Sorry I didn't record you a different update, but shit, it's the same thing. So V-band here, clears up all over there, doesn't hit anything. I don't know what you'd call this, probably a 45, couple pie cuts. Coming this way, bunch of pie cuts to do a tight radius 90, and then we have an almost 90 up here. I MIG'd and TIG'd it. I mean, it's not the prettiest thing, but it's because we are running low on time. Got the turn down. I just barely put the hangers on it. Just fab some up. It's going to be utilizing that hanger, and then I riv nutted some M6 riv nuts by 1.0, and I got this tab in there, or this little tab on there, and he can always unbolt it. All right, again, sorry for any of the background noise with the fans. It's hot as hell in here. Here's the car, pretty much on the ground. That thing's got a little bit of a tilt to it, which I really like. Customer likes. I sent it all to him. Man, that looks freaking wicked, dude. I'm stoked. It doesn't hang too low. No, not really any lower than the plane of the cross member and stuff. But there's one more. I haven't fired it up yet, but there's one more issue with this car that he wants me to see if I can't solve, because he doesn't have a lot of time. Sorry, we're in the wind again. He has an oil cooler here, and it goes down to where like the GM oil filter, the block is right above it, where the factory cooler would be, or block off, whatever. The AN line's leaking. He couldn't get it too tight because he had done the headers first, so I'm going to unbolt one side of that V-band on the Y pipe, and I'm going to loosen these. I'm not trying to remove the header because the steering shaft goes through it. I'm just going to try to drop it down so we can get up in there. I'm going to show you guys what I mean as soon as I raise this thing up. I'm going to undo this V-band and then lower the header. It's right up here, this little sandwich plate right up here. See how there's a 10A in there and a 10A in back there? It's that back one. I think I got it tight, and also glad I'm here because I need to put a bung plug in that thing. Alright guys, I'm going to have to start it even though I didn't want to, because we're going to have to check that for that oil leak, because it's only going to happen under pressure. So I'm just going to leave that there. It's probably going to be super loud. I'd say it runs. And not driven, used to it gets pretty quick. Well, you heard it. That thing sounds like a fucking NASCAR. That is insane how loud that is. Anywho, it didn't leak, so that's good, and the guy's gonna come pick it up later. That equal length on LS, you just can't really beat it. This isn't perfectly equal length, but it's pretty damn close, and the booms line up with each other just perfect. Anyways, guys, I guess I'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching, and look forward to more content. I appreciate it. Bye.